Hi guys, Dan from GuitarLessonCentral.com here, and today I'm working with the wonderful guys down at Riffstation to bring you some free lesson videos. So in this lesson we're going to look at Mark Knopfler, the man behind Dire Straits, the biggest supergroup of the 80s possibly, and we're going to be looking in 5 or 6 minutes at basically how to start playing like Mark Knopfler. And of course we're going to be using our fingers rather than the plectrum, and I'm going to show you a lick, and then I'm going to show you some basic ideas you can use to get started to play like Mark Knopfler. So let's start by having a look at the lick. Right then, so let's just break down that lick, and again it consists of 3 parts, and we're just combining it together as rhythmically as we possibly can, okay? Now, first off, no plectrum here, all fingers, and in general I'm using my thumb and first finger with little bits of the second finger. I will kind of walk you through it as we go, but I'm in D minor here, okay? And so I'm starting kind of up in my pentatonic shape 1, in this root position here, so I'm up on the 10th fret, and this is the first lick. And it's kind of like a typical bluesy lick, but done in a very Mark Knopfler way, which is using this thumb and first finger to great effect. So we're going to start with the bend. So we're going to bend up the 12th fret, and then bring it down to the back of the 10th fret and 10th fret. So that's B string, E string. And I'm doing thumb, thumb, first finger snapping on the top fret there. Then with my thumb, I'm going to take the 13th fret and pull off to the 10th fret. Okay, that's with the thumb. And then thumb back down to the 12 on the G string. Okay, so we get. And then first finger snaps the 10th fret of the B string. Okay, and then I come back down to the 12th fret and pull off from 12 to 10. Okay. And then down to the 12 with the thumb, back up to the 10 with the first finger, okay? So, that first half of that lick goes like this. So notice every time I go down the fretboard, i.e. this way, I use my thumb, and as I come back up for one note or two, I use my first finger. Okay, that's really what you're trying to consider there. Now then at that point, we're going to go like this. So here I'm actually using the thumb to hammer on from 10 to 12. Okay, and then down 10, 10. Okay, so that's G string, B string, and that's thumb, first finger, and then finish on the 12 on the G string. So all together. Okay, so as a good rule of thumb, excuse the pun there, you know, try to use the thumb as you come down the neck and the first finger as you come back up. And if you're ever doing kind of an arpeggio with maybe 3 notes going downwards like this, or upwards, whatever you want to consider it, like this, the top one should be the first finger and the rest should be the thumb, basically. So there's your first lick, and then we come down to this, where it's this very cool little, it's kind of based on a C major chord. And I'm just starting on the 8th fret here of the E string with my first finger. And then I'm going to, with my thumb on my right hand, just pluck that and pull off from 10 to 8. And then play this note here, which is the major third of C, but is really, I suppose if you want to consider it frets, the 9th fret of the G string. And then repeat that 3 times. And then finish on the 8th fret there. If you get it sounding a little bit more chordal, so as if the notes are ringing into each other, the effect is going to be that much better. Okay, so that's that little lick there. And then you go into this kind of quick, kind of chordal bass thing and a nice country vibe, which is this. to finish off the lick, which is basically I'm coming down to my D, because we're in D, there's my D root note, 5th fret. I'm going to grab a D minor. Okay, so it's kind of like the bar chord, but I'm just taking these 3, which is very typical of Mr. Knopfler. So we're going to go thumb and then grab these 3, just like that, just very quickly. And then run back up to the shape 1 pentatonic, where you're going to grab the 12th fret of the G string, as well as the little finger on the 13th fret of the B string. And I'm going to actually push up, so bend the 12th fret, but leave the little finger where it is. So it goes up and down, basically a full bend. Giving you that very country kind of vibe, right? Back, so I'm going to keep that little finger where it is, come back to the 10th fret, and then back to the 12th fret, and then back to the 10th fret. Okay, each time I'm plucking the thumb and the first finger with my right hand, you know, all the time. To make sure I get a double sound every single note I play there. So that's... And there we have it. Okay, so all together. 2, 3, 4. Yes. Okay, and that's pretty much the sound of it. A little bit quicker. 2, 3, 4. And there we have it. So to get you started on the Mark Knopfler style stuff, I've put a whole bunch of stuff in the worksheet to kind of go over, but really you've got to get used to this thumb and first finger technique, okay? And I would do as I suggest in the lick, which is to use your first finger always as you come up. So if I'm ever kind of going from here to there, this should be thumb, this should be first finger. Okay, and there's a cool little exercise. If I stay in D for now, but in the worksheet I've done it for you in the key of G, it should be kind of transposable. But something like this. Is a little bit quicker. And what I'm doing here is I'm using this concept of first finger, thumb, thumb. And that's a little sequence that we repeat. So it's 10th fret, 13th, 10th, and then down to the 12th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was first finger, thumb. And then we repeat it. So, but this time we start from the B string. And using the pentatonic shape to kind of work your way down. Okay. Now I know it's only a very brief explanation, it's a brief start, but it should just kind of get you going on this technique with your right hand. But do check out the worksheet for a little bit more information on that.